depressing compared to what everybody else has done. Sorry, but it's one of my favorite parts is from The Prisoner of Azkaban. Who all has read Harry Potter? Okay, like 15 people. Okay, so I'm part of the 1% here. But this is the end of Prisoner of Azkaban, and if you've read it, you understand it, and if you don't, just gotta go with it and appreciate it. Alrighty. He looked at Harry, who did not look away. "Believe me," croaked Black. "Believe me, Harry. I never betrayed James and Lily. I would have died before I betrayed them." And at long last, Harry believed him. Throat too tight to speak, he nodded. "No." Pettigrew had fallen to his knees as though Harry's nod had been his own death sentence. He shuffled forward on his knees, groveling, his hands clasped in front of him as though he was praying. "Sirius, it's me. It's Peter, your friend. You wouldn't." Black kicked out, and Pettigrew recoiled. "There's enough filth on my robes without you touching them," said Black. "Remus," Pettigrew squeaked, turning to Lupin instead, writhing imploringly in front of him. "You don't believe this. Wouldn't Sirius have told you that they had changed the plan?" "Not if he thought I was the spy, Peter," said Lupin. "I assume that's why you didn't tell me, Sirius," he said casually over Pettigrew's head. "Forgive me, Remus," said Black. "Not at all, Padfoot, old friend," said Lupin, who was now rolling up his sleeves. "And will you, in turn, forgive me for believing that you were the spy?" "Of course," said Black. The ghost of a grin flittered across his gaunt face. He, too, began rolling up his sleeves. "Shall we kill him together?" "Yes, I think so," said Lupin grimly. You wouldn't. You won't," gasped Pettigrew, and he scrambled around to Ron. "Ron, haven't I been a good friend, a good pet? You won't let them kill me, Ron. You're on my side, aren't you?" But Ron was staring at Pettigrew with the utmost revulsion. "I let you sleep in my bed," he said. "Kind boy, kind master." Pettigrew crawled towards Ron. "You won't let them do it. I was your rat. I was a good pet." "If you made a better rat than a human, it's not much to boast about, Peter," said Black harshly. Ron, going still paler with pain, wrenched his broken leg out of Pettigrew's reach. Pettigrew turned on his knees, staggered forward, and seized the hem of Hermione's robes. "Sweet girl, clever girl, you wouldn't let them. Help me." Hermione pulled her robes out of Pettigrew's clutching hands and backed away against the wall, looking horrified. Pettigrew knelt, trembling uncontrollably, and turned his head slowly towards Harry. Harry, you look just like your father, just like him." "How dare you speak to Harry?" roared Black. "How dare you face him? How dare you talk about James in front of him?" "Harry," whispered Pettigrew, shuffling toward him, hands outstretched. "Harry, James wouldn't have wanted me killed. James would have understood, Harry. He would have shown me mercy." Both Lupin and Black strode forward, seized Pettigrew's shoulders, and threw him backward on the floor. He sat there, twitching with terror, staring up at them. "You sold Lily and James to Voldemort," said Black, who was shaking too. "Do you deny it?" Pettigrew burst into tears. It was horrible to watch, like an overgrown, balding baby cowering on the floor. Sirius, what could I have done? The Dark Lord, you have no idea. He has weapons, you can't imagine. I was scared, Sirius. I was never brave like you and Remus and James. I never meant it to happen. He who must not be named forced me." "Don't lie," bellowed Black. "You'd been passing information to him for a year before Lily and James died. You were his spy." He was taking over everywhere," gasped Pettigrew. "What was there to be gained by refusing him?" "What was there to be gained by fighting the most evil wizard who had ever existed?" said Black, with a terrible fury in his face. "Only innocent lives, Peter." "You don't understand," whined Pettigrew. "He would have killed me, Sirius." "Well, then you should have died," roared Black. "Died rather than betray your friends, as we would have done for you." Black and Lupin stood shoulder to shoulder, wands raised. "You should have realized," said Lupin quietly. "If Voldemort didn't kill you,
we would. Goodbye, Peter.